Welcome to Two Gents, where two seasoned gents take on the hard truths of life, success, and responsibility. In a world where the rules don't bend for us, these gents believe in doing the work, owning the struggle, and inspiring others to take action. So, pull up a chair.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to Two Gents Podcast. I just happen to be one of your hosts, Ron Spikes, and I always say that. But tonight I know I'm going to be on by myself. But it's something that just kind of got on my mind today. I just couldn't get rid of it. So I got on here and I'm like everybody else. You know, if I got the equipment and I'm sitting here and I hear something that really should be worried about, I should take my time and put the information out. And that's one of the things that I'm doing right now. I'm sharing information with you. Right before I got ready to go on there, one of my friends texted me a message talking about the Democratic election. I didn't get a chance to get it up, but I just want to tell you, as I listen to some of the stuff that's out there going on with the election that's in Texas on the Senate race, it's kind of scary because here you go to the polls and you look around some of the polls and you don't see anybody at them. You don't see anybody at the primaries, and you know, based on our last election that we had, and it's a guy that I'm gonna bring up a video. I'm gonna bring up a video so y'all can kind of hear me tonight, because I'm not going. Maybe it's the messenger. Maybe you don't like the messenger. Maybe you don't like the way I come across, or maybe I'm not in your lane, or I'm just a different person that's out there. But this is so important, because if we don't change things, what we seen last night is just a representation of our future. Somebody that's up there that don't look like you, don't understand you, ain't never been in a position where they could make a decision to go to do anything. And after I don't even want to give it, I don't even want to talk about it really, but I have to, because there's so many things that happen with the Democrats that sometimes we get caught up in what we see in the media and we just go with it. And that's not the way you can't do it like this. Sometimes you have to use your own thought process in order to formulate an idea. I know most people come out and they want to hit you with these hard liners, these things that kind of draw your attention in. I got caught in one earlier today, and I just don't want to be that guy. I'm not for sure how long I'm gonna be on, but I'm gonna make sure I get this information out if you can. I'm gonna say this. I know it's a lot of activities going on in Houston. It's a lot of people being pulled many different ways. But I'm going to tell you, one of the things that you need to figure out how to do between now and Friday is try to get in and vote in the primaries. Because if we want proper representation, not somebody that was handpicked, not somebody that's going to get up there and sit in their seat, not somebody that's just going to go along to get along. We don't need those kind of politics no more. To go along and get along, that means that you're just going to sit there, and whatever they say, whatever they bring up, whatever's going on, you're just going to sit there and you're going to agree with it. It's time out. Republicans are going to play that way. They don't never play that way. So let me get this a little bit out of the way, because the only thing I want to touch on that happened last night was this. And I'm going to bring up this image real quick. I think I can add it to the stage. And I want y'all to see it, but I want you to look at it. No, not him. Not him. I'm going to have to do better. That's Al Green. Al Green standing up. He's saying black people aren't apes. You know the reason why they're not apes? We never was. But your president depicted Michelle Obama and former President Obama as apes in a caption. And we played it on here. I'm not going to play it again, but I just want to tell you that sometimes you have to stand up even when nobody else stands up. And that's the one thing I can say about Al Green. He stands up even when nobody else stands up. He says what's on his mind, and you have to give him credit for that. If you don't give him credit for nothing else, you may not like how the tactics and what you use to get it across, but as you can see, Trump is using the same tactics to get his lies out there. I mean, he tells lie after lie after lie after lie, and there's people out there that's buying into it. And that's the sad part about it. People out there is buying into it. You know, as I saw this, I want to give you 2 or 3 angles from which he did this. This is Al Green. He's out of Houston, Texas. He used to be a judge here. So he's familiar with the law. He knows what he's doing. And that's the kind of people that you need in Congress. That's the kind of people that you really want to represent you. Somebody that stands up and speaks. If you want somebody that sits on your hands, if you want somebody that sits on their hands and never say anything about anything that's going on, maybe you need to move out of Houston, Texas, or move out of Texas. Because it seems like our people are standing up saying something, saying the same things that you want to say, but you're just not able to say it. It ain't no proper decorum no more. Decorum was broke when the Epstein files came out. Decorum was broke when he got convicted of 34 counts or whatever he got convicted for. That was when decorum was in effect. Now you got to play like them. If you can't get in the arena and play like them, it's something wrong with you. It ain't no good guys, bad guys no more. That's over with. They've been slinging mud for I don't know how long. He's been at it for a while. This is the last picture. I'm gonna bring this up because I want you to see that he made his point. Look at him. Only thing Donald Trump has to do is look to his left, and I'm sure he saw it. And he's doing everything he can to avoid this man with this sign up. But here again, the Democratic Party and the people that's in charge, they escorted him out. Can't nobody say that he didn't do it. It ain't a lie. I see a guy over his shoulder that's got on the MAGA hat. At some point, you got to realize that it's affecting you too. We ain't never gonna get used to it. But here's the thing that I want. Here's another thing that I want to bring to the stage because it's short. But this guy kind of told you about the. He tells you he's from Houston too. Like I say, some more people from Texas telling you what's going on, and somehow it's like I'm gonna say it, and I'm gonna say it like I normally say it with people that I talk to. It seemed like people north of the Mason-Dixon line, they want that soft tone politics. People north of the Mason-Dixon line want that soft tone. We're down here in the South. If you don't speak up, you don't get heard. That's one of the things. It ain't no proper decorum no more. If you're looking for that, it's gone. It's gone. It's out the window. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna let one of my hosts tell you. Let me do this because I'm gonna bring this up to the stage first. It's gonna be a lot of sharing and talking going on tonight. So I'm gonna share this with you.
For you, again, the past year has been pure hell for black people.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? He said the past year has been pure hell for black people. Now you know all the stuff that we done went through as black to get to this point as black people. So if he's saying the past year has been hell, where are we at? Where are we at? We're not getting no recognition. Trump has not bit his tongue on anything, any reporters, any ladies. It didn't matter. It doesn't matter what color you are, how you look, or whatever. He gets his point across. So if Roland Martin from Houston is saying the past year has been hell, let me take it back. Let me share something else with you. I want to make sure we get this right because our own Byron Glass says it like this.
Disappointed in the Democratic Party, which is exactly why 10 or some odd years ago I chose to get out of the party. No backbone, no spine, no leader. Chuck Schumer, you need to go tomorrow. If they could get rid of you tonight, they should.
You know, as I listen to Byron Glass talk, I remember when he made that statement, and a lot of people probably looked at him and said, "You know what, man? You just a disappointed, disenfranchised." But let me tell you about Byron Glass. Byron Glass has been an elected official in his parish for the last 34 years. That means that somebody voted him into office. So if you want, you can call him whatever you want to call him. But he's a person that has a seat at the table. And then unless you're willing to take a seat at the table, he has a voice. He has went to Louisiana, to the state capitol many times, and he sent us pictures of it. And he showed us what they're doing down there. My earplugs are coming apart somehow. I'm getting ready to take care of that problem. I got it fixed now. But he's telling us what's going on. This is somebody that's in his capital in Louisiana that's telling us what's going on. And he's made some statements that we need to pay attention to. Pastor A.F. Riggins has made statements that we need to pay attention to. He's on the trail ride tonight. If you go back and Google it, last night we did a trail ride story on Black history, on the Black history of Black cowboys. Tonight we didn't do that much talking on politics last night, but I'm gonna say this, and I need you to understand that I'm gonna get out here even tomorrow night, because Friday is the key day. We need to get people out to the polls. It looks like we're comfortable here in the state of Texas. We're comfortable here in the state of Texas. What we don't realize as a whole, that this Jasmine Crockett election has a big role to play in the overall election, even though it's in Texas. Do you know how many people will get up and get motivated, get out and vote in other places if they see that Texas elected one of their own, somebody that wasn't supposed to win, and they hold this stuff account, they say, oh no, she can't win. She can't win. There's no way in the world she can win. Not in the state of Texas, because Texas is a red state. But let me tell you something. There's some people that's won in the state of Texas. This was a red state. This is a red state right now. But we had people like Mickey Leland, Barbara Jordan, even Ann Richards, to name a few. So don't tell me that people can't win. It's your mindset going in. It's the mindset that you allow people to plant in your mind. It's the type of media that you listen to constantly that gives people that thought process. And when they say that, they get to a point where it's not going to happen. See, if we went along with that, we would never have our history told. We would never make any type of headway out there. And I know I'm talking a lot, but some of this needs to be said. If you, and I want to say this, if you haven't voted, get out and vote. Jasmine Crockett is out there trying to represent you, trying to be one of those politicians that don't sit on their hands when they go to Congress. She's flying back and forth from Houston to Washington to try to get the word out to people. She's doing her job still. I don't hear too many people that's doing that. I don't hear too many people that's making those travel plans, that's going back and forth. And if you go out there and you follow her on her pages, she's telling you where she's at. She's going around making speeches, trying to get you involved in it. And if you don't get involved in it, there's something wrong with you. I just have to say it. I just have to put it in language where we understand it, because we shouldn't have people from other states telling us that we're not voting here. We shouldn't have to get other people or radio shows out of this state, or people speaking in behalf of us. We got a voice. Our voice is our vote. But if we're not getting out the vote, we just have, and I'm going to let him tell it, because he can put numbers behind it. I told you I'm going to do a lot of talking, but I'm going to let other people tell you, because you might not like the messenger. You may not like the delivery of the messenger. You may not like who I am, and you may not see my face every day in the media cycle. But I'm going to put up people that are in the media cycle that I agree with. Now I'm gonna have to put a caveat on that, because everybody that's out there in the media cycle don't have your best interest, or it's not in the best interest. So this next thing that I'm gonna add to the stage, I'm gonna let it play in its entirety. But what I want you to gather from it is this guy's telling you about our voting habits here in Texas on crucial elections that's going on. I mean, real crucial elections. So pay attention. I mean, just kind of listen in. Because the only reason why I do this, and I'm going to tell you so you don't feel like I'm just repeating myself, some people just don't have the time to get out there and listen. Some people have a job, they have kids, they're taking care of. But if you could take just this hour and a half, or this hour that I might be on tonight, and just listen to some of this that you might not have had time to listen to. And for you guys that's already listened to it, please understand that I'm just sharing it with people that don't have the time or the knowledge to get out there and do it. When I say knowledge, I'm not talking about your brain knowledge, but I'm talking about your ability to just focus in like I can when I hear people that make good sense. So I'm gonna add this to the stage, and I got to let you hear it in its entirety.
Senator, and I'm going to tell you the numbers and why we have a problem on the other side.
You may have seen the statistics that I vote 99.3% of the time. And I see some of you here who know this better than I do, but in the—
I want to go back on that because I need you to see something. I want you to read across the top of it. I'm going to read it for you. Only 6% showed up to vote in Houston's 18th congressional special election. That was the one that we just had. And the real reason why that's significant, because what they're saying is that we don't show up to vote. We don't show up to vote. So how can we have a voice? And if only 6% showed up to vote in 18 congressional seat, let me pull myself back up here. Hold on, because I want to make sure that you understand how serious this is. You know, I see people put, and I'm just using them as an example. Don't beat me up. Don't hit up my email. Don't give me a whole bunch of static. But I need to use you as an example. Jasmine Crockett is a Delta. I guarantee if you go across the whole state of Texas, you'll find that there's more Deltas than people that turn up in the 6% of this election. And I'm not going to just call out Deltas. I'm going to call out any fraternity organization, any sisters, anybody that's out there that call themselves brothers and sisters and wear these different colors around and got alphabets on their sleeve, alphabets in their name. I'm a Delta. And I'm picking on Delta because one of my friends, a couple of my friends are Deltas, but Alphas, brothers, Kappas. And I'm gonna go here because I'm calling out all people. So even the people walking around here with the white beards talking about the great club or whatever, if you're not getting out to vote, you're not representing yourself. It's even a new ladies club that I saw that came out, and I think it had sent. I don't want to misquote the name, but it's a new ladies club out there, and I'm gonna get it up because I saw the videos that's dressing up. And they dressing real fancy, like they going into the Kentucky Derby. And those salt and pepper gang is the one I was talking about. Make sure that each and every one of y'all are getting out to vote. And when you go to those functions like that, if you can reach out, ladies, you know who I'm talking about. I think she used to be a part of the Bill Pickett Trail Ride. Her and her sister are active out there in the community right now. If you think of a name, you can put it in the comments. Let me know. And I'll call her name out too. But if you're out there right now, and I got to say this, I say the last, and I'm gonna say it again. I see Real Deal out there, and they're really trying to push this vote issue. That's the demographics that we need to have. That's the type of people that we need to be pushing this out to. That need to be pushing out this Jasmine Crockett thing, because they're saying, and I'm gonna get back to it because I need you to see what they're saying. What's going on. That's the only reason why I'm getting on here tonight, because I don't like what I'm hearing. So let's go back to this. I'm not going to stop every last one of them, but I need you to hear this one in its entirety.
But in the special election to elect Sylvester Turner's successor, there were 5.6% of registered voters turned out to vote. People wonder, how do you get somebody like Mayor Mondani in New York? Well, it's because people don't show up to vote. And so the most activist, the most extreme people who show up to vote, they're the ones who get to pick who the leadership is.
Now, I'm pulling for Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett to be the Democratic nominee. She is the most experienced, most qualified person in this race for the U.S. Senate. But Houston, if you're one of the largest counties in America and you show up like that in a congressional race, we've got concerns going into this Democratic primary March 3rd, and early voting is happening right now. Now, I'm a numbers man, so I went to Harris County's election website to get the numbers to find out who voted in this election and how many people showed up. Let's look at it. By mail, 2,181 people went to vote. Early voted, that went to show up and early vote, 11,486. On election day, 10,009 Democrats showed up to vote, and early voting provisional ballots, 3,000 27,400. That's a grand total of 27,166 voters out of 423,844 registered voters in Harris County in the 18th Congressional District. 6.4% of people showed up to vote in the congressional election. So while I hear all the think pieces that are talking about whether she is the right one or whether he is the right one, who's actually moving the voters to show up to vote while everybody got a fucking think piece? Because clearly you're not knocking them damn doors. Because if 6% of the people showed up in one of the biggest counties in America, Democrats, that's why you continue to lose in the Deep South. You got to knock a door to get the voter behind the door. And I just got to ask the question, if 27,000 out of 423,000 people, 6% of the people showed up in Harris.
Did you see that number? 27,166 people showed up to vote in Harris County. It's 423,844 registered voters that could have had the opportunity to vote. But only that many people showed up. So I told you tonight, I'm not going to sit here and tell you something that I don't know. And I'm going to say it again so you don't get confused or upset or mad at me. Maybe you don't like the message of my delivery, but these numbers don't lie. You can see it for yourself. That's what showed up in the special election. And when I heard Jasmine Crockett and I'm looking at what's going on right now, if you're not getting out the vote, we're already defeated because we have to get out and vote. If we're not going to the polls, if we're not taking advantage of the primary, you don't know what might come up on the day of the election. You don't know what might hinder you from voting. But if you got these polling places open all over the city of Houston, even if you're on the trail, let me just call out my people because I got to call them out. We talked about them last night. And Pastor Regan said they got vans shuttling people back and forth. Can we take some of those vans and tie a few horses up to a couple of wagons on that trail ride and say that we're taking them to vote and we're gonna get them right back? Because I think during the primaries you can vote anywhere if you're a registered voter. Can we take some people so they're not just waiting till Friday to try to get in there and vote? Can we tie some horses off? It was 10 wagons in that trail ride last night. I want to see about 3 or 4 horses tied to each one of them for a short period of that ride where y'all done got that van, that shuttle, whatever you're using, taking them to vote and bringing them back to get back on those horses. I'm sorry if I'm going to call out the fraternities. I'm going to call out the trail riding groups too. I got to do it. I think Pastor said it was 13 trail rides out there, black trail rides being represented along with a new one this year. If we're gonna get out there and trail ride and we want to continue to do the representation of black people that's out there and have people in our corner that look like us, so when we go up there and tell them that we're doing the trail ride, or maybe they see us going down the street, or maybe they see us on a group of horses, maybe they'll give us a little leeway because they understand the history behind what you're trying to represent. They understand the history behind what you're trying to represent. So please, if you're out there on the trail ride, take some time and vote also. If you're a member of these fraternities and you're throwing on your colors and you're saying, that's my sister, however you put it, get out and represent it by a vote. Your voice is good. Your voice, everybody can hear you, but your vote counts. Your vote counts in the records. We need you to get out there and vote. And I wish, and I'm gonna say it, and then I'm gonna play the rest of this. I wish I had Reese on here from and because Reese would cuss your ass out and tell you that you need to get out and vote. And I'm talking about from Reese from Urban View. We need to have Reese need to make a couple of messages that somebody can play and put it out there, and so we can see and hear how people would need to understand, because some of y'all just don't understand. This is important. That fool that was on there last night, He's trying to wipe you out. He's trying to wipe this history out. He's trying to take us out of the books. So let me finish playing this.
County to vote for their congressional member in the 18th congressional district, which is a majority minority district, which means the majority of the people in that 423,000 Democrats look like you and I. And so the question I have is, do you care about what happens in your community? Or is brunch and every other thing that we made a priority more important than showing up to decide who spends your money? Because you're going to pay them damn taxes every time you at brunch. You dig? So you might want to decide if the money that gets spent with the money you spend ends up on the roads and the schools that you care about the most. And this ain't just for the ratchets. This is for your bougie uncles and aunties too. Because some of y'all think that these things don't impact you until it's your kid caught in the crosshairs with the federal government. And
I needed you to hear that. I needed you to hear it in its entirety because it makes sense. You want to sit up there and complain about what's not right in this country. You want to sit up there and talk about why, well, we can't do this, we can't do that. You can do a lot of things, but if you don't see, what you don't understand, and I don't know if people understand this, and I know some of them on the other side didn't understand this, and you can't go into the Capitol and voice. You can't go in there and voice your opinion when decisions are being made. You vote people in office that's supposed to represent you to go in and talk about what's great, what they need to see happen. They're supposed to be taking your word and they're supposed to be your deliverer to the Capitol. So when they're making all these meetings and they're in all these committees, you want somebody that speaks for you. I guarantee you that I guarantee you them Republicans speaking for their people. I guarantee you. They always talk about we play checkers while they playing chess. Well, that's one of the chess games. If you don't get out, if they know that we don't get out and vote in any election, especially the primary election, we ain't gonna put somebody in place to represent us. What? They winning all the time. They didn't checkmate. They didn't play checkmate if you playing chess. Now, checkers, you get a chance to jump a couple of times. If they make a couple of mistakes, you might be able to jump a few more times. But in chess, the only way the game ends is the king has to be in check. So I'm just telling you, they playing check, and we need to find a way to start playing chess instead of playing checkers. And you know, I'm gonna tell you, sometimes, and I said this, and I went back out and found it this time. And I need you to listen. I need you to listen because I'm not going to build it up, but I need you to listen to what I'm about to show right now because I'm going to try to
Talented
get
young
it
man. And it does require a certain confidence in your actual convictions to debate and have a conversation with somebody who disagrees with you on a whole bunch of stuff.
To hear who's saying this. Now that you can see who's saying this, I need you to hear it. Now, I want you to make your own decision. I'm going to back it up. I want you to listen very carefully. Just listen to what's being said.
James Tirico, who was on there a while back out of Texas.
Oh, that guy's good, right?
He's terrific. A really talented young man. And it does require a certain confidence in your actual convictions to debate and have a conversation with somebody who disagrees with you on a whole bunch of stuff.
What makes him so good, though? Because there is something grounded about him that you had it too.
I you know what? So in our foundation, a lot of the work that I do is working with young civic leaders, political leaders, journalists, human rights lawyers, not just here in the United States, but around the world. And one of the first,
I want to point this out because you need to, and I don't want to cut off Obama. I respect everything that he has done. But there's two candidates in the state of Texas that's running. One is named Jasmine Crockett. You never mentioned her in any of this interview that you had. You never said, you know what? It's two candidates down in Texas. What you trying to clarify is that he is running. That he is running. And I don't understand that because maybe y'all can go out and find out the reason why he said it like that, but This is just like what's his name that Charlie Kirk that we just buried. It ain't like I'm making up words. I'm not putting words in his mouth. This is not AI or any of that. You know who he is. Why don't you mention the other candidate that's running? And we got to start asking those questions.
First things I say to him is, know what you really believe.
Right.
I think a guy like him, his starting point is, let me say what I believe. I think now more than ever, what people long for, and the word authenticity gets overused, I think. What people long for is some core integrity that seems absent. Just a sense that, the person seems to walk the walk, doesn't just talk the talk. There's this young state rep, James Tirico.
Did you hear what he just said? Did you hear what he just said? And I need you to hear that, because sometimes, as Glass got through saying, sometimes the truth hurts. Sometimes the truth hurts because we didn't hear him say anything about Jasmine Crockett. We didn't hear him say, it's two candidates down in the state of Texas that's trying to run for office in the Senate race, and one of them is named Jasmine Crockett, one of them is named James Tirico. He didn't say I kind of lean toward James Tirico. He just basically just left out Jasmine Crockett. This is the reason why I'm on the air right now. I need you to understand that your vote, sometimes the Democratic Party don't agree with you. Glass said it best. He left it 10 years ago. It's the reason why. But let me just kind of put this together so you can really have an understanding. And if you think I'm actually pleading with you to understand how important this election is. Trump is in office. He's got a Republican House. He's got a Republican Senate that he's working with. They are basically able to do whatever they want to do, whether it's right or whether it's wrong. They're doing it. He's got that. Only way that we're going to put in a stopgap or change the way things are going is we're going to have to elect people to go into office. Yeah, they selling you this big bill of goods talking about, the Democrats are going straight into office. Yeah, the Democrats, they going to stop Trump. Can't stop them if you don't vote. Can't stop them if you don't vote. And if you don't think they got a plan, even in our own party, you just heard that part of it. But I'm gonna let you, some of us, and I'm gonna say it the way I want to say it, and some of y'all ain't gonna like it. Sometimes you have to hear from other people in their voice to tell you how much they plan to set you up for failure. Sometimes you have to hear from other people. And I want you to hear this with your own ears. You just heard the person that just came on, and I have the utmost respect for him, but I kind of got a little sour taste in my mouth that's still left in my mouth from what I just played. So I'm gonna play this. So don't take my word for it. I'm gonna add people to the stage that you can take their word. You might not like my delivery. I'm just a little old boy that graduated from MB Smiley, went to the service, came back home, started working for Harris County. And maybe you don't like the way I talk. Maybe I'm black. Maybe I'm not white. Maybe I can't change my voice. Maybe I'm not appealing to a certain crowd. But I can put people on here that maybe you haven't had time to listen to, and let them tell it to you. So you can hear me. I got after I play this, I want to tell you something, because I want to wrap this up real quick, because I've been on here for about 34 minutes now. But I want to play this because this is crucial, because you need to understand how deep the planning goes, how far they reach into planning before this stuff happens. And this is on, and this is not Republicans. This is on our side. I want you to listen
until I'm ready to spill the tea. Several of you have sent me this article from today in which James Tallarico says, I called Jasmine Crockett in July and she said she wasn't running. That's why I decided to run for Senate. As someone that was involved in discussions with all of the camps,
I want you to get the whole entirety, because this one's worth playing.
Wide slate that was going to run in Texas, and then it didn't happen. And you know how everyone's been asking what happened? Well, I'm ready to spill the tea. Several of you have sent me this article from today in which James Tallarico says, I called Jasmine Crockett in July and she said she wasn't running. That's why I decided to run for Senate. As someone that was involved in discussions with all of the camps, Summer, I know that's not exactly true, so let's rewind. You see, for the first half of 2025, James was actually very committed to running for governor. That's what he had built his brand on being the anti-Abbott. And it's already been publicly reported on that he was in conversation with Beto and Joaquin Castro to form this statewide slate. Castro saying, I'll run for attorney general since I'm the only attorney in the room. And it would have been a great slate, because think about it. Beto probably could not have gotten donors to buy into a rematch against Greg Abbott, but for a Senate run where he can show them that he's got a full slate supporting him, something that he didn't have in 2018, donors are ready to bite. And all three candidates would have benefited from Beto's massive infrastructure that he's built. Republicans would have also spent most of their money attacking him, and we probably could have snuck the other two through. But then in late spring, a consultant named Liz Smith flew Tallarico out to New York City. She wined and dined.
What did I tell you about those people north of the Mason-Dixon line? And I'm not all, but some. And I want you to listen to what she said. Listen to what she said. I need you to listen, because it's very important. This part right here.
And in late spring, a consultant named Liz Smith flew Tallarico out to New York City. She wined and dined him, introduced him to some really big names. And when he came back, his staff has said they were caught completely off guard and shocked to hear him say that he no longer wanted to run for governor and was all in on running for Senate. All summer long, people worked to try to get the statewide slate to happen, knowing that it would be very hard to imagine a scenario in which we didn't win one or multiple of these seats. Still, James was set on running for Senate and told people Paxton was an easier opponent for him to face. So one seat instead of multiple seats for one man. When he launched, that was the end of discussions, and everyone was willing to put on a face and play team to support him. Enter Jasmine Crockett. And late fall, poll after poll was showing that she would have a huge lead if she entered the Democratic primary. To her credit, Crockett said she was going to run her own polling to look at how she would fare in general, particularly looking at if she could expand the electorate, something that she thought was key to winning a statewide seat in Texas. And it's important to remember that this was all happening at the same time as major gaps were being found in the Tallarico campaign. There was serious concern about whether or not he could actually carry the ticket. And so everyone played this game of will she, won't she? But by the end of November, it was clear that Jasmine Crockett would be entering this race. And so once again, discussions started to try to build this statewide slate again. But in order to do so, Tallarico would have to drop from the Senate race and move over to the governor's race. If he would agree to do so, there were multiple names ready to go that would file for other statewide seats to give us the best slate possible to make sure that we flip seats.
Well, I want you to understand this is planning that's taking place. Neither one of us was there, and a lot of people wasn't there. I wasn't there, and I'm sure that the people that were sitting in the room were making decisions that was based on what was the best decision for Texas. But then he goes off to New York City, and when he goes off to New York City, he comes back and he wants to challenge Crockett. So I'm just telling you, they fly him out, they go around, and they get these people and they manipulate them. And so he's opposite of Crockett now. Can you imagine if Crockett was just in this race by herself? If he would have never went to New York and they would have just kept up the original plan? Can you imagine what this race would look like? Can you imagine how many Republicans on the other side that would be worried about this seat that's in Texas? No, we had to get somebody to come in and play a role to try to divide the vote. And if it doesn't happen, they're willing to sacrifice. The people that make the decisions are willing to sacrifice, and rather than let somebody come in and run the seat. And she voices her opinion. It's time, and I'm going to say it again, it's time out for those politicians that sit on their hands. You elect them in the office, and they go up there and they act like they can't open their mouth. But they come back to their districts, and the first thing they do is want to tell you what they did in Washington, D.C. It's a lot of them that don't go up there and do nothing but sit on their hands. It doesn't matter what's going on. They sit there, and they go along, and they vote, You can... Being a politician, you should have the ability to go out and at least talk to some of your other counterparts and try to sway their votes to get them in your corner. But if you sit on your hands and you continuously vote with the party because you think it's the right way, or because they put the information out there and they dare you to go outside of it because they don't want to put no money in your coffers for you to run, this is a good example of what goes on behind the scenes that everybody should be exposed to. That everybody needs to know that this is going on. I'm gonna let it finish because it's not that much longer. Then I want to go somewhere else with this because I need to get somewhere.
Up and down the ballot in November. But at the advice of his consultants, whose experience is in federal campaigns, not state campaigns, he once again was the cog in the wheel when it came to getting a statewide slate. This was even after Crockett suggested they share internal polling to see who was truly best fit to run in the general election. And as someone who traditionally focuses primarily on our down ballot races and knows we have to win 14 state house seats before the 2030 census if Democrats want a chance at drawing those maps, was a big red flag in a sea of flags that I'd already talked to the campaign about. So that's the tea, and that's one of the reasons why you started to see a change in my coverage of the Senate race. And it's supposed to have this all-star state.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? She didn't bite her tongue. She told you about how we got to this point where we at right now. It's division. It's division within the party. And I think Last said it best. You know, when you not out for the best interest of the party, when you taking things into your own hands, you got a representative that gets out there, and I have yet to see one of them come up with some paperwork or something that wants to call her out or any decisions that she made anytime that she was on the floor and she was calling out somebody on the other side of the aisle. I've yet seen them come up with paperwork to say that she was lying. We had a president that got on here last night, and almost every word from the time he opened his mouth to the time he closed it was a lie. Was a lie. But you know, I'm a little bit of I'm getting past the Riggins disease, because you know when I hear stuff and I heard it today, I'm gonna call it because I don't know if most of y'all might know KYOK, KCOH. They had a guy that's done sports I know for 40 years in the city of Houston. His name was Ralph Cooper. And he kind of got into this on this show today. So I just want to tell y'all something, and I need y'all to listen to what I'm about to say. People were upset because the hockey team went to their speech last night. Let me since we're here, go back and Google hockey and how it got started. Go back and Google who was the first people to go out there and kind of put some excitement into it. It'll take you back to a story of early baseball. You know, baseball had lost money. They wasn't making no money when they allowed Negroes at that time to come into the league. But I think you might be surprised that they had hockey leagues. They had hockey leagues out there. Black Negro League hockey that was out there playing hockey. And they was the one that came up with the goalies that using their knees to block the goal. They was the one that came up with what they call the slapstick. Oh, that's a little bit of history lesson. It's Black History Month. If you don't believe me, go out and Google it. I did because I had heard it before, but I didn't go out and Google it like I was supposed to. But Ralph Cooper brought that up today, and people was just upset about this hockey being up there. I guarantee you they would have been more upset if they knew the actual story behind hockey. And I was saying to myself, ain't no way in the world no black people getting out there in that cold weather on ice when they could sit in their house in the warmth of their house. Go out there and Google it for yourself. I would pull it up right now, but I want to I need to go somewhere else because I got one more video I want to show you that kind of, you know, how we are. We don't, even though the lady she told you she was in the room, she had a seat at the table, and she shared her information with you. And some of y'all still don't get it. So maybe it take two. We're gonna bring up two.
We have a problem. Listen to your Republican U.S. Senator, and I'm going to tell you the numbers and why we have.
No, we do have a problem, Houston, but I need to remove some stuff from the stage. I'm going to remove it from the stage. I'm going to remove some stuff, and then I'm going to add in something. And I want y'all to hear this other story. It's important. I got to come up here so I can make sure that I get it. I wasn't able to open up all the files and bring them to the stage, but I'm doing it right now as I lean forward. So I'm gonna let my camera adjust, and I'm gonna bring this up, and it should come straight up to the stage.
Pro Jasmine Crockett. And I said that her opponent in the primaries, and I wish he were anywhere but there, is undoubtedly a fine guy. But that's not the question, is it? I've gotten many, many comments that had me concerned. And the reason they had me concerned is because what they're doing is echoing what has been the position of the leaders of the Democratic Party. The leaders of the Democratic Party have repeatedly preached, elect the moderate guy, the white guy, because he's electable. Elect the guy who is white and moderate because he's electable. Well, we have two fine candidates, but I don't know that Jasmine Crockett is electable to this position, and we need to flip this seat. So therefore, vote for the white guy. That's what got us into this crap that we're in right now. That's what got us into it.
There it is. You heard it. That's the reason why I'm out here. Because we keep listening to other people and we keep going by what they're saying. Or they'll tell you it's a landslide. Just so you can sit at home and say, they don't need my vote. She already won. She ain't won nothing. Until you get out and vote. Your voice is your vote. Your voice is your vote. She cannot win unless she has your vote. She cannot win unless she has your vote. And it costs to run these campaigns. He's having all kind of money dumped into his campaign. As a matter of fact, I wasn't gonna show it, but I'm gonna show it anyway. I'm just gonna let this play. And I'm gonna go find the other one while y'all looking at this.
That is what has led the National Democratic Party to icing out the voices who have spoken truth to power. Oh, that's a trite phrase. They have iced out Cortez. AOC would not put her in any leadership position. They ice out Ilhan Omar. They ice out people who they decide don't have as good of a chance to win in a race important to them. And guess who suffers? It's always the white guy that wins, and it's always the minority that suffers. Always. Damn. When are we going to learn? When are we going to learn? I have nothing against James Tallarico. I hope he runs for governor of Texas. I hope he runs for the House of Representatives. But he should not be in this race. We have two people, one young white guy expressing opinions that I agree with, although I'm not entirely clear that he wouldn't move more toward the center as he gets in to, make things easier. But I have nothing against him. Proven leader who won a race, who has been for 2 years up there dealing with it in a unique and brave and thoughtful way. She has represented. And then we have a guy who served a couple of years, I think 1 year more than she's been in, where she has been a star. So why stop this talk about, I don't know. I think this is an important race and we need to flip it. Therefore, I'm thinking we need to go with the white guy. Stop it. Get her in there. Whatever I said was pro Jasmine Crockett. And I said that her opponent in the primaries, and I wish he were anywhere but there, is undoubtedly a fine guy. But that's not the question, is it? I've gotten many, many comments.
I just want y'all to hear that. I want you to hear it because sometimes when you hear it from people other than the host, it kind of sinks in a little bit better. It kind of makes the point. It kind of, as we like to say, marinates a little bit better. But, I said something earlier, and I want to see if I can pull it up to the stage because if I'm right, it should go straight to the stage. But we're talking about people that's out of the state that's looking at us. And here's a guy that most of y'all should know.
Method man right here. I'm gonna keep this message.
Stop this and put him up on the stage. There you go. I want y'all to listen to what he's saying. In case, you people in Texas don't believe that people outside the state are paying attention to what's going on.
Good. It's Method Man right here. I'm gonna keep this message short and brief. Texas, it's time to vote. I need you to go out there and vote for my homie, my peoples, someone I trust, Jasmine Crockett, as your next U.S. Senator. She is the leader we know and a fighter we can trust. So make sure you get out there, let your voice be heard.
I know you heard that, but I want you to understand that people all around Texas, and I had Roland Martin earlier, people all over the United States of America is paying attention to what's going on in this election here in Texas of Jasmine Crockett. And we don't realize how much of a pivot this would be for her to go into the office, but how much of an embarrassment it'll be if we don't get out and vote. We can't have 6% numbers. We can't have 7% numbers. We can't even have 10% numbers. We need to have 75% of the people that's registered to vote in the state of Texas to get out and vote. That's just how important this is. And this is not Jasmine talking to you. This is not somebody that's out there in politics talking to you. This is a person that's sitting here using his money and his media, his little bit of, I don't have all those people walking around like these other people. I don't have a name where I play professional sports. I don't have a following to grab it, to get enough people to reach out. But I feel I have enough of a reach to let you know how much this election is and how much it should be, how much you should get out and vote. I hear you. I got a classmate out there. I wish I could get. I wanted to do something, and I see her out there, and I'm Rhonda Tatum went to MB Smiley with me. And Rhonda, I tried to call you. I wanted to do something. I wanted to do something with this media, but I know that you tried to call me, and I didn't call you back because I was kind of busy. I got these things called grandkids that's running around here, but I don't want to get too sidetracked from where I'm going with this thing, because I need y'all to understand that it's important that we get out to vote. It's important that the class of 1980 MB Smiley get out and vote. That's the important thing about what's going on right now. Jasmine Crockett is. Let me tell you how. The primary started on Monday, and I had already told one of my ex co-workers' husband. I said, Jasmine is not in my district. And so I was driving past the polling place, and I looked down there. I saw Jasmine Crockett. I said, wait a minute, hold up. So I got out of the car. I actually went in there, and they said, "Yo, this is the primaries. You can go in there and vote for Jasmine Crockett." I pulled out my little ID card, and I went in and I voted. It's not enough information out there to tell you that you can go out and vote for Jasmine Crockett, and you need to check it out and check. Go to your polling place wherever you vote. If you haven't voted and you didn't think that you could vote for it in the primaries, go out there and check it. Run the yes, you're right. Class of 1980s, MB Smiley. It's a lot of y'all out there. I know, because I see you out there going to those functions, and I recognize the faces. And as I look at the faces, I said, man, I know that guy. But that's where we came from. And I try to follow the page. Rhonda got me into following the page on that. So I just want to say this is an opportunity for us to get out and cast our vote in the right direction. Don't ever feel like you don't have a voice. Don't ever feel like you're not important. Every vote counts. And I say that because I'm always refer back to that 6,000 to 424,000 voters registered in this area, and only 6,000 turned out for the election that we had here for Sheila Jackson's seat. So I want to go. I got some more stuff that I want to put up. I want to put it up real quick because I need y'all to understand that this next thing that I'm gonna put up. I got y'all. I want y'all to see it because it kind of. That's what got me out to vote where I vote at. See that sign right there? It say Crockett, Texas tough. When I drove past there, because that's the polling, that's where I voted right behind it, right back there in the background. When I saw that sign say Jasmine Crockett, I said, wait a minute, I gotta check some things out. So if you're out there, you might have to check some things out too. You may have to check some things out. So go over there to your polling place, see if you see some Jasmine Crockett signs out there, or do some research on Google and find out if you can vote for Jasmine Crockett. I just want everybody to do it. And one of the things that we try to do on this thing right here, we do this podcast called Two Gents Podcast, and this is our motto. If we can just reach one, we done did our job. If we can just reach one, if we get one person out there to just go out and vote, we done did our job. And that's the thing that I want each and every one of y'all to carry with y'all throughout the rest of the time that you listen to this, or you hear anybody talking about Jasmine Crockett, or you hear anything that's going on in the state of Texas that you have an opportunity to vote. I want you to carry that with you. And if you can just convince one person besides yourself to get out and vote, please do so. Please do so, because that makes all the difference in the world. I want to tell you about a couple of people that's out there running for election. And I'm going to put up some stuff because I need you to know that I just got this one. I just got this one in from Missouri County. Fred Burton out of Cola, or Cola Citizens. His daughter is running for, I think it's a city council seat, and it's local politics. You know, local politics, you have to get out and support them too. Alexis Burton, go out and support her. I want to get on the air, I think it was last night, and talk to her, but they had something that was going on. My classmate is still commenting over here, so I'm gonna show them if you want to make a comment or say anything, you're welcome to come on. You're welcome to make your comments on YouTube, Facebook, or anyway. I think Rhonda is commenting from Facebook. If you make them on YouTube, I'll put them up on the air. We do that every week, so make sure that you get your word out there. Let them know who you're voting for, and if you can, do me a favor. Start putting those I vote signs, because one of my ex-coworkers, he sent me I voted. One of those little placards that say I voted. But sometimes you have to add a little bit more to it, Rhonda. I'm gonna tell you, sometimes you have to add a little bit more to I voted and all the rest of that, because you know you can go get that little tag and say that you voted, but you need to have something else to go with it. I'm gonna show it to you. I took myself off the air off of here. I'm gonna go back in here. I'm gonna bring myself up, and I'm gonna use this camera because I need y'all to see. It ain't gonna show on the green screen, but it's a green piece of paper that come with that's got your voting number on it. And it's 30. And my number, my access code was 38052. I'm just telling you, you can have this. Everybody can have this. I think you can even put this on your Facebook page. I voted. But you need to have something that goes with it. Don't just say you voted, because that's your voice. It's going to tune back into me. That's your voice to go out and vote. And I'm going to say it, I'm still going because I don't want to get sidetracked, Ronnie. You got me sidetracked a little bit, but I'm going to keep going because I need y'all to know that these people that's out there running local elections. This one is, I'm adding her to the stage. I had her up. So let me remove this person. Again, this is Dr. Shirley McKellar out of Tyler, Texas. She's running for the mayor of Tyler, Texas. Tyler, Texas, the home of Earl Campbell. She's running for the mayor in Tyler, Texas. Make sure you go out and support Dr. Shirley McKellar. She comes on the show all the time. Jasmine Crockett is out there, but we need to support our local elected officials. If you know anybody that's out there running for office and you get the information to me, I'll put up their picture and we'll talk about them on the air. We go on the air every Tuesday night at 7:30, and we talk about politics mostly. But last night we did the trail ride. The trail ride is going on in Houston. It's going to go on in Houston, then it's going to Channel 13 where they do the rodeo. They riding in for the rodeo. So it's a lot of people out there. And I said it earlier, and Rhonda, you just proved my point. Because see, people down in Texas, they talk. They're not afraid. They don't hide. People down in Texas stand up, just like Al Green, just like Jasmine Crockett. That's the reason why they don't want her in politics, because she's gonna stand up and she's gonna tell you what's right. And most people don't want to hear the truth. They rather hear a sugar-coated lie than hear the truth. So Jasmine is telling you the truth. And I'm adding stuff to the stage, but every time that you see me lean in, don't think that I got to lean in to do whatever I'm gonna do, because I got a monitor in front of me. I got monitors up above me, and I need to make sure that I get all this stuff on. It's this guy right here. He made a good point, and I got one more video after this, and then I'm just gonna start talking about other people that's running, and then I'm gonna get out of here. I appreciate y'all listening in, taking your time, because I know it. But that last video, I'm gonna let play, and that's how we gonna go out of here. But this guy right here made a couple of good points too. I want to see if he comes up directly up to the stage. If I can get him to come up directly up to the stage, it wouldn't come up. So let me go back over here, and I'm gonna try it again. See, I don't have a person that's sitting in front of me with a computer that's pulling my pictures. I pull all this stuff myself. I go out there and I do it. I pull it, and I try to present it in a fashion. And sometimes it comes up like I want to, and sometimes it doesn't. It doesn't. But this is just one of those times that it didn't come up. I'm gonna try this one. See if this one works. Okay. I'm like Pastor now. Pastor always say they try to get us off the air. They try to stop us from doing what we're going to do. You know, they got this guy named Elon Musk that has all kinds of stuff. We lost Instagram not too long ago. I want to tell you, we're still on the air. I'm going to be getting out of here, and it's telling me that was an invalid file, because I tried to pull up those other two files, but I'm going to pull just the image up because I need you to see this, and I don't want you to get all comfortable and just don't put just give it up. But this is what they're saying out there right now. Trying to get this image up. Won't let me. That's Dr. Shirley McKellar. I got to remove her from the stage and add this up. This is what the polls are saying. Don't get comfortable with this. Don't take it to, don't believe it. Get out and vote. Get out and vote. Tap your neighbor, your friend, your sister. If you're in prayer meeting tonight or Wednesday night Bible study, tap the person next to you and say, you need to get out and vote. Use that pastor's words. Have you voted? Have you registered to vote yet? If you registered to vote, have you actually went to the polling place and voted? We need you to get out and vote in these primaries, because something may come up on the day of the election where you can't get out there and vote. So make sure that you get out there and vote. Tap. Don't be afraid to tap them on the shoulder and say, have you voted? If they, especially if they start talking politics to you. If they start talking politics, ask them how they voted. I don't, if you ain't got a voice out there, why are you talking to me about politics? Your voice left when you didn't vote, when you didn't register to vote. Rhonda, I see you. Very good, Ronald. Informative information. No, let me share this with you, Rhonda. Yeah, I'm sharing this, but it was something that you brought up, and I want to touch on it real fast, because I need our classmates to know it. And I didn't see a lot of people in the pictures, but I need our classmates to know it, because if you're turning 65 this year, some of us turning 65, some of us may turn 65 the next year. And I think it was Rhonda gave Kathy Alpha credit for bringing it to a little dinner that they had. If you're turning 65, get out there and check on your health care. Get out there and check on Medicaid. If you think that you done worked all your life like me, and you don't have to do the stuff, I got insurance right now, but when I turn 65, I got to go into another avenue of getting health care. And if you wait till then, if you wait, it's a possibility that you can be penalized. 1980, 1979, I just buried my cousin, Joe Hamilton, and he was 65 now. So I'm just telling you, Don't wait. You're among the living right now. So y'all make sure y'all go out and listen to some of that stuff that they're sharing with you, because you don't want to let it creep up on you, and you end up having that penalty that you carry for the rest of your life because you didn't do your homework. You didn't get into it. Rhonda, I hope that we can cover that. I know, Rhonda, but you didn't know you don't know all the stuff I'm going through. But I wanted to try to get this to a point, because that's important. Not only is voting important, but what Rhonda and them covered on Saturday in their meeting was very important. And somehow we need to get that back out. Rhonda, I'll tell you what, we need to talk, and we need to set something up where I don't mind doing it. I got the means to do it, as you just found out. I can set it up, and we can bring them in, and I'll just disappear in the corner somewhere and just let them talk and tell, because we need to inform our people. The ones that didn't come out, not the ones that did, the ones that didn't come out. And I agree with you. They need to find out this information early, like now. It's February, January. I think you're about 6 months out or something like that. You really have to be on top of your information. And anyway, I got sidetracked. Let me go back. Rhonda, I'm gonna say it, but Rhonda, we need to get the word out to where they can. And Rhonda, what I want to tell you was this before I get back into Jasmine Crockett. We have the means where we can do this show, and we can post it back to your page, your page, the MB Smiley 1980s page. Post it back to there. And that's my grandson sneaking in the background. You might as well come up, grandson. Don't hide out. Stand up. That's my grandson sneaking in the background. And I'm glad he came in at this time, because what we're talking about, come over just a little bit. You're on the wrong side. Right there. On this side. Back where you was. But what we're talking about, Jasmine Crockett voting and getting out doing the different stuff, we're not doing it for us. We're doing it for our grandkids. Our kids, we're doing it for ourselves. We're making a difference within our community, but ultimately it's going to be passed down to them. And if we're going to pass them some crap, we might as well just give up on life. And I say this, he looked at me and he kind of frowned at me, but I just want to let you know that the future starts with them. And if you got anybody out there that's 16 in your household, or a cousin or something that 18 is the one I want to say, get them out to vote. Get them out to vote. Hopefully they got registered and they can vote in this election cycle. But even if they can't, get them ready. Get them prepared for next year. Get them prepared for next year. I want to say that, and thank you, grandson. Now you can go back and do what every other kid about your age is doing, playing games. And we need to stop them from playing games and start educating them on the voting cycle that's out there. That's part of what you do, and part of what we have that responsibility to pass on. But if you got a kid out there 18, or if you get a chance to stand in front of anybody or in any crowd, I encourage you to ask them, did they vote? 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 Chad, I see you out there. I see you listening in. I've seen you mention it a couple of times on your page, Chad Samuels, the DJ that's out there on trail rides. Chad, if you get an opportunity where you're in the crowd, please get out there and ask about voting, because that's very important. 2 more days. I don't think they're going to allow me to put anything else up on the screen. I'm going in there and see if there's anything that I forgot. Oh, godly. She's going to kill me if I don't do this. Let me just do this. I got to get this up. Because this is another one. I'm going to put it up. I got to remove the other one from the stage, but I need y'all to know. Montreal Peterson. She's running for Fort Bend County Clerk. Get out there and support it. I mean, these kind of people are local. When you have a problem with your taxes or your property or anything out there, you need to get out there and vote. And I'm going to share a little bit of their story. You know that salt and pepper gang that you see out there running around? that's on the internet and taking pictures and they show up everywhere. Her husband is a member of the Salt and Pepper Gang. His wife is running for Fort Bend County Clerk. Make sure y'all get out there and support him. Make sure you get out there and support her. She's running, and she's already working in the office, so she already has the experience. She basically do the job behind the guy in front of her. So I'm just telling you, get out there and support her. Montreal Peterson. I want to make sure that I get that out while we talking about getting out the vote. And I think it's one more that I forgot to share, and I need to go back. And she has a story to tell within herself. I want to get her back on here, but I haven't been. I know during this time she's running for office, I'm not going to be able to get her back on here. Maybe after she gets through running for office and she's got her position and she's caught up, I'll be able to get her back on here. So it was something else, but I'm gonna stop right here because I went for almost an hour. The thing that I need you most of all to understand is that we make a difference. We get out in that community. We're out, as Chad Samuels just said not too long ago on a text. He said, we're out in that community. We're talking to people. We're in front of people. We got people that we can get their attention. If you got a Facebook page, share this. Oh yeah, share this. Let me show you something. Share this. I want to see if I can pull it up because they might not let me pull it up. They figure I'm giving too much information. I want you to share this. Let me see if I can get it up on the stage. Where is it? It's coming. I have to remove something, then I have to add it to the stage. If you don't do nothing but take a picture of the screen right now, share this. Tawana took the time to get this up. And it tells you the people that's running in the different offices that's close to where we at right now. And share this information. Tawana's quiet. She graduated from Prairie View. She might not like me saying this, but I'm going to say it anyway. She graduated from Prairie View, and she's doing a lot of miraculous things out there within the community. She has 2 or 3 organizations, 501(c)(3)s that she runs. She supports a cause out of Africa. And they just got back not too long ago. These are the type of people that we should be paying attention to and following, because I think she collects books in one of them, and her and her daughter. Oh, I'm gonna brag on her a little bit. I got to shout. I got to give her her just due. She has. I'm trying to think of where her 2 daughters go, and Spelman. I think it's Spelman. I don't want to mess it up, but if I'm wrong, she'll correct me. She has 2 daughters that's going to Spelman right now. And they get involved in these nonprofits that she has going. If you want to look her up, her name is Tawana Acadian, and her father, she's a preacher's kid. You probably know her father more in East Texas. If you know anybody from East Texas, that Louisiana borderline up there, her father's a preacher from that area, and he's very active. As a matter of fact, I knew Tawana before I knew him, and her father showed up at a funeral, but because I paid attention to Tawana's page, she had posted a picture of her father. I went to her father in the funeral. I said, I know your daughter. He said, oh, yeah? He said, you must be talking about Tawana. I said, yeah, I'm talking about Tawana. But anyway, go out there and pay attention to Tawana's page and see what she's doing. She ran for office, so she has a lot of knowledge. I want to get on the air, but she's so busy because she's with these different organizations, and they have meetings on Tuesdays that they try to keep their meetings together, and I couldn't pull her away from there. But before I get off this air, I'm gonna let this one guy tell you, and then we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna get out of here. I know I done said that a couple of times.
Absolutely.
I need y'all to hear what he says, and I know most of y'all know him. I know most of y'all know him, but I want you to hear what he's saying this last little bit, and then we're gonna get out of here.
Beck, I'll start with you. Again, the past year has been pure hell for black people.
Absolutely.
That's all I wanted. That's all I want you to hear. He's from Houston, Texas. The past year has been pure hell for black people. Roland Martin. We got people that's out there. And the people that's coming out of Houston, Reverend Al Green. Not Al Green. Al Green, Judge Al Green. Sometimes I get a little carried away. Maybe the judge can sing. We're going to have to check it out. We're going to have to get that checked out. Maybe he can sing. But anyway, I'm just being funny right now. Hey, as we get out of here, I want to thank Rhonda for coming in. I appreciate your comments, and I appreciate the stuff that you're doing out there for the classmates and how you pulling them together. Because I was one of them that was on the sideline that you reached out to. I just haven't made any events. I appreciate what you're doing, and I know that you don't have to do it, but you're doing it, and I appreciate it. And I know that I'm not just saying that for myself. I'm saying that for the class, from the class of 1980. MB Smiley graduates, that we appreciate what you're doing. You're really getting involved, and I don't know if you get enough flowers out there, but you keep me informed. I go out there and I look on that page and I say, look at Rhonda, she's doing her thing. So thank you. I even got a chance. I'm gonna say this because I took a class with Kim Mays when I was in high school. She used to have the biggest smile I ever seen. I got a chance to see Kim Mays, and I saw her and I said, yeah, look at Kim. She still got that big smile. So anyway, as I get out of here, no, I'm married. I didn't have a crush on her, nothing like that. I ain't trying to relive the past. The past is the past. But I just, some people, when their spirit leads you, you have to go with that. It's a lot of people, and one of my friends from high school, oldest knew everybody. Oldest knew everybody. Oldest knew everybody. But I need to have clarification, Rhonda. Don't laugh. I need people to know. Some people take it the wrong way. When you give them a comment, they act like they run with it. They 10 miles down the road and you ain't did nothing but, I want to give people a good comment. And I've been doing this for a long time. We used to do this. I've been doing this since, I don't know, I forgot now. But we started on Blog Talk Radio, and we've been doing this for a while. I'm just running my mouth now. So I'm going to say, please get out and vote for Jasmine Crockett. That's what it's all about. And don't ever think that your vote don't count. Your voice is your vote. Your voice is your vote. And if you don't want to take my word for it, go out to urban air. Yes. Thank you, Rhonda. Oldest Garrett. Oldest Garrett, my buddy. I can remember some days with Oldest Garrett, but there's some other people out there I can remember some days with. But go out and vote. 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 Rhonda, we need to tell our class to get out and vote. We need to tell Big Ivan Nash to get out and vote. I told him, I commented in a text of where you're here. I said Ivan was one of them guys that walked down the highway, down the hallways that kind of took up part of the hallway when he walked. At least it was like that when I was little. Y'all take care. Enjoy yourself. I'm going to say, before I get out of here, let me do this. I got to do this because we always do it on our other shows. And I don't never want to forget where I came from. Father, I want to bow my head right now and say thank you, God, for giving me these airways to discuss the things that's going on within our community. I want to thank you for helping me get involved with people that's out there that's still trying to do the same thing. I want to thank you for letting Rhonda have the heart to get out there with the class of MB Smiley in 1980 and share the information with everybody that's out there and give her continued blessings to continue doing what she's doing. Father, it's people like her and everybody else that's getting on these airways. It's a lot of negativity that we can spread, but Father, we need to spread some positive information out there, and that's what we try to do. Part of being a grown person, Father, we need to get out and vote. So with that being said, I want y'all to, I don't call out salutations to this person, to that person. I don't call out salutations to people that put on their pants one leg at a time like I do, because I feel like this. And this is my personal opinion. I feel like this. I don't need titles, because when it comes time for them to put me in that box, I'm going to be the only one there. Everybody else going to be on the outside of it, looking down on me, talking about, I remember him. I know he did this and I know he did that. But ain't nobody else in that box with you. So as a person, the one thing that I want to tell you, learn how to pray for yourself. It took me a long time to learn that, because that's another whole story, but I'm not going into it. Learn how to pray for yourself. Learn that you pack your altar everywhere that you go. And if ever you're in a situation that you feel like you need prayer, just fall down on your own knee, which becomes your altar, and say a prayer. He hears you. He understands you. We was raised like that. Don't ever give up. Just continue to say a prayer. But I'm in. I'm out of here. It was nice. It was nice. I enjoyed it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm out of here.